49 years ago this month, the Allman Brothers Band released their live album at Fillmore East. It was recorded here in New York and propelled the Allmans to stardom, putting Southern rock on the map. The Allman Brothers were the first act on Capricorn Records. The label had a historic run and became known as the birthplace of Southern rock, but later was mostly forgotten. That is until this year, when Capricorn reopened for business.
All of us that worked here and had so many wonderful times, we feared that it would just be demolished.
Inside Mercer Music at Capricorn in Macon, Georgia, a newly renovated recording studio has been resurrected from the dustbin of music history.
This is the room. The room. Wow, you know, it just floods back memories.
It's where a 20-year-old Chuck Leavell would come to work in 1972 as a new member of the Allman Brothers Band, joining the likes of Greg Allman, Butch Trucks, and Dickie Betts.
We would set up the whole band. We could all see each other, and that was important.
Why?
Well, you know, to get the feeling, the emotion, and, you know, watching Greg sing and watching Dickie play that guitar.
Am I allowed to ask you to play a little something?
Yes. All right, here we go.
Some of Southern rock's most enduring hits were made in this room, the product of all-night jam sessions, where Leavell says they would literally pick a key and go.
So amazing.
No, so a little taste of it there.
Yeah.
Leavell can still recall the first time Betts strummed the beginnings of the song Jessica.
Principal melody is. But then you had... And then you had the other part, so you get...
The 7.5-minute instrumental was recorded for the 1973 album Brothers and Sisters, along with the Allman's anthem, Ramblin' Man. The story of Capricorn Records is one of revivals. The lesser known in a constellation of recording studios in the South, like Sun Studios in Memphis and Fame in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, Capricorn was based in Macon, a town 80 miles southeast of Atlanta that happens to be the hometown of Little Richard and Otis Redding.
Otis was managed by Phil Walden, who was the owner of Capricorn Records and who built this for Otis, for him to record.
Redding would die tragically in a 1967 plane crash. Walden was looking for a new act to manage when he heard Duane Allman's session work with the likes of Aretha Franklin and Wilson Pickett.
And he sought out Duane and he said, I want to manage you. I don't care what kind of band you put together. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. And so Duane put together the Allman Brothers Band.
Duane Allman would gather an eclectic ensemble that included Redding's drummer, J-Mo. Their combination of country, gospel, R&B, and Motown would blend into the emerging new sound of Southern rock.
When Capricorn started and the Allman Brothers did their first record, it really didn't sell that well. The second record really didn't sell that well. So all of us that were involved here making music, you know, we were determined, let's keep that kettle boiling, you know, let's just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. And then it was the Live at Fillmore East record that really broke for the Allman Brothers Band.
Just 3 months later, Duane Allman died in a motorcycle accident. But the band would regroup, making Capricorn the epicenter of Southern rock. Everyone from Joe Cocker to Lynyrd Skynyrd would record here.
Now I feel like I'm going into an old record store, basically.
That story is told in the new museum at Capricorn, a project that took archivist Jared Wright nearly a decade to curate. It begins with its roots in soul.
People like Otis Redding, Sam and Dave.
To groups like the Marshall Tucker Band, known for hits like Can't You See? There's even some presidential politics. Jimmy Carter would visit the studio before launching his 1976 campaign.
Piracy and duping of tapes was a really big problem. When Carter was governor, Phil Walden worked with him to pass that anti-piracy bill that protected artist rights.
Carter credits the label's key financial support through benefit concerts with keeping his candidacy alive.
And not just the Allmans, the Marshall Tucker Band, but the whole Capricorn label was kind of behind Carter and helping him run for president.
But all this rich history nearly disappeared. Capricorn struggled through the 1980s. The building, abandoned in disrepair, was owned by nearby Mercer University.
There were holes in the floor. You could see through to the basement. The floor behind us had completely collapsed. The ceiling was starting to come in. And I thought, what a dump.
But.
And then I walked into the studio.
Yeah.
And sort of miraculously, it was the one space that had been perfectly preserved.
Mercer president William Underwood was left with a dilemma.
I knew that I couldn't tear this building down because of, the great history here. And I also couldn't afford to fix it.
Which is a big problem.
Yeah.
The building would change hands numerous times until a developer finally gifted it back to the university. A combination of fundraising and tax breaks financed a more than $4 million renovation. The new Capricorn opened to the public in January. Its 2 studios available to commercial artists recording albums, along with an incubator space for young musicians to practice and collaborate.
Why was it so important to keep the Capricorn Sound Studios and build from there?
I viewed the history as a way to inspire the future. And maybe the next Otis Redding will come out of that incubator. The studio is sort of a living testament to the fact that it can happen here, and it has happened here.
When you saw that Capricorn Records was going to be reborn, in a sense, what did you think?
Hallelujah.
Lavelle is still nostalgic about the past.
I wish I had taken more piano lessons.
But he revels in the here and now.
It was a magical, magical time during those years.
When you're back here, do you feel some of that magic again?
I do. I do feel the magic. It's here. It's never gone away. It just went to sleep for a while.
I should point out, we obviously shot that pre-COVID with the closest. Yes. So Chuck Lavelle was just about to leave with the Rolling Stones because he's been touring with them since the early 80s. He's their sort of de facto musical director. But he's right. There's something you could feel there. I can't describe it, but there was something there with that history that was so rich.
You can see it just on the screen.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to learn piano all over again, too, right? Like,
I felt like I was getting a lesson.
It's like,
I know.
Going into the music. Awesome.
It was
really,
really great. And fun to sort of reminisce about some of those songs. Anybody who loves albums, that space of listening to albums was truly amazing to have.
Post-COVID, a good place to visit for everyone.
Yeah, post-COVID.